Hello. So in this video, we will see what is plan communication management. If we see, there are three major points in it. What has to be communicated, when it should be communicated, and to whom it should get communicated. Means if you are doing any project, then in the project you have to keep in mind two or three things. That is, what you have communicate, with whom you have to communicate, or how you have to communicate. All these things you have to keep in mind. When we do any task or define something, all those things you have to keep in mind properly. When we talk about any for task, if any client gives you suggestions or changes, they should be properly communicated. If we talk about most of the known that Chinese whisper is a game in which you use it for information transfer. It was used majorly in school or any leadership development training. It is used majorly. Most of the time, if you have project in which you have to transfer some information, you stand in one line, someone was sharing some information in your ear, you used to share that words, this information goes till the end. So it creates its own version and it tells. It can cause some conflicts. So how to communicate with your team or any other client wants to suggest something or want to give some development or suggest some changes. So you have to implement that in your project. How can you update that or what changes can come? We'll see in this video. When we talk about what exactly you have to communicate with your project manager or your team leader or your team members, all these things properly you should manage. And also when you have to communicate with them, because you have to give them information about your project, so it should be not be that the task is completed, then the instructions are coming to them. You have to communicate with them before that, and how and with whom you should communicate and how you should communicate with them. All those things should be properly managed. There is a part in which we call communication technology. How can we choose in communication technology? Means urgency of the need of information. Means you need some information or you want to communicate some information. Then what is the urgency of information? How fast you need it, or it will be okay even if you get 2 days later. So according to that, you have to set communication technology. If you have an urgency for it, you can call or connect through WhatsApp, or you can connect it through telephone, communicate. If you think that your task is urgent and you can't send it by mail or change it or send it later, then it becomes important to find out its urgency. Second is availability of technology. You have to check what kind of technologies are available. Along with that, ease of use means that is usable for everyone or everyone can use it. If you have some information and you have to reach the end team member, then you can't send it through mail or you can't tell workers through mail. For that, you have proper technology that can be used by everyone. Like you can tell on call or you can communicate through WhatsApp. Everyone should understand that. Such communication technology you have to use there. Along with that, what is project environment or what are the available conditions are there? You have to do according to that. If you think that building project is going on and if you have that, then you can easily communicate. But if you are in hilly area and you want to communicate something there, then that communication should be available there. According to the environment or project environment, which medium will be suitable there or which technology you can use there, you will have to see that too. After that comes the last, sensitivity and confidentiality of information. Means that the information that is being transferred or is being received, then it is important to communicate properly. If you have sensitive information, then you can share it with the help of with them later through or personally. This is your communication technology. Now, what is plan risk management? Plan risk management means whenever we are completing a project or the project is ongoing, then you have to face a lot of problems that there are some conflicts of resource or some disputes with parties or with the developers or contractors. There are many ways in which we face problems, which we call as risk. which affects your organization as well as the stakeholders. We have to find out about it and we have to solve it. So before solving it, we have to find out what all things can be involved in it and how to solve it or what kind of issues can come. Most of the issues are understood during the planning. These are the problems that you have to find out and then you have to identify and solve it. So there are three types of problems. First is risk appetite, risk tolerance, and risk threshold. Means how much it will affect your project and how much it can affect your project, or if it can cause any damage or not, or if it will cause any problem or what will affect your next project, or if it is something that can be solved or not. So all these things are in your plan risk management. Next come your plan risk response. When you start a project, you will face some problems that you already know about it, or when you deal with parties, you already know about the problems that you face, what problems we can get from it, or how we can solve it. For example, if we talk about the you have some kind of strategies or problem in it, then you have to define it or you have to find a solution for that problem. For example, if we talk about resources, if we have any resource, your conflicts with resource, or if there is any problem, then to solve it you need to be prepared with alternate resource. Or if your material is going to be late on site, then you need to find alternate option for that. If it is coming late or if there is any problem, then you need to find alternate option. After that, all those sources or terms and conditions for strategies, all of them should be ready, that they are ready to work according to strategies or plans. And if you don't have any resource available in the primary and backup strategies, then you will have to stay with the resource or other contractors in the backup. So your project will not stop and it will not affect your organization or stakeholders. After that, when you assign tasks to individuals or groups, then they should take responsibility for it. If they move away from responsibility, then the risk in your project increase. So for that, you have to be ready to assign tasks to individuals or groups. After that, whatever strategies you have made, so you have to track it throughout the period or the life of the project or its appropriateness. As more as its deadlines, you should know about the project or your employees should know what will affect it, so that your chances of increasing risk are adjusted.